I'll say it for you. This is a tough question. The Milwaukee, we're going to talk about Giannis in a minute. The Milwaukee Bucks went 38 years between Kareem leaving and Giannis arriving. By total points, who scored the most points for the Milwaukee Bucks in the interim?
I feel like Wendy on this one. I was thinking about, of course, the Ray Allens of the world, the big dog Glenn Robinson of the world, Jack Sigma, Terry Cummings, Vin Baker. I'm going to land on Sidney Moncrief.
Sidney Moncrief is second. You said it. You had it. You said it. It's Glenn Robinson. It's the big dog, Glenn Robinson, by about 400 points ahead of Sidney Moncrief, then Michael Redd.
Oh, yeah.
And then Marcus Johnson. That's a brutally tough question. That's a very tough question. That's a tough one. I feel bad for my main man, Vinny, despite his Pistons take of earlier. All right. Speaking of Giannis, I want you to hear Windy yesterday on the prospects of the Cavaliers trading for him.
I don't think you will be long before you start to hear Cavs attached to Giannis Antetokounmpo. Would they consider entering that market? You know, if they put Evan Mobley on the table, as hard as that would be, Evan Mobley is in his mid-20s. When they drafted Evan Mobley, okay, they drafted him to be another Giannis. What if they could turn him into Giannis?
All right, so the question is, you got Windy Big Perk talking about the possibility of Giannis to Cleveland. You're also obviously aware that there is a great deal of conversation about the possibility of LeBron going home to Cleveland. You look like you're already shaking your head no at me. What are your
Because
thoughts?
why, Wendy, is why? Like, it's two things that make my skin crawl.
Okay.
Number one is the drama surrounding Giannis in Milwaukee. Is he going to leave? Do they want to leave? Do he want to get traded? And then the Cavs again. I want to leave them in the past, especially after hearing Kenny Atkinson and Donovan Mitchell and James Harden speak on the microphone, those post-game interviews after shoot-around. You know, Kenny Atkinson said something the other day that was the most asinine thing that I've heard in this postseason.
Right,
about the analytics. Why would Giannis want to go to that house? It's almost like he's shopping for a crib. Why would you want to go to that house? It looked beautiful on the outside, until you find out when you walk in the inside that the people that lived there before the people that lived there had kids and they had pets. So it stains all over the carpet. And then all of a sudden you realize that you got to change that carpet out before you can even think about buying this house. That's the way I look at Cleveland. Giannis, it's not just the Bucks trading Giannis to somewhere they want to get value back from. They have to do right by Giannis Antetokounmpo.
That's what is missing from the calculus here. If the relationship between Giannis and the Bucks is not beyond repair, then you go to your superstar and you say to him, where do you want to go? And usually teams don't trade close in that proximity. If I'm Giannis and I've had the health issues that I've had the past couple of years with the calf and the knee, and I know he sat a little bit this year, I want to go to a team that has a definitive chance to win. And this is going to sound crazy. What about Oklahoma City? Don't they need him as much? No, seriously. With Big Vic there, you need bodies. Like, the price of the brick is going up on
San Antonio.
Giannis.
You meant San Antonio then?
No, he means you got to deal with Victor.
You got to deal with him.
I thought you said.
And OKC has all the picks in the future.
Here's the one thing.
The draft capital.
Here's the one thing I would throw in, and I'm gonna let you cook. Chemistry is so delicate, and when you talk about teams that are on the brink of contending, chemistry is so delicate. And I think you have to be careful that all superstars don't come with, cool, I'm going to take a step back and slide in. That's all I would add to this conversation. But
the Cleveland of it all, right? Like, we just talked about how the teams that lose in the conference finals in the East make it to the finals next year. The Cavs don't feel like that.
No,
they don't feel like they are stand pat and will get there.
They are not close.
How about LeBron? I mean, I'm always interested in your take on LeBron. Could you see him finishing it back where it all began?
I can, but they're going to have to pay him. He's not going to do it for the vet minimum.
Right.
And that's another problem. I don't understand. Like, I'm going to start calling James Harden a stick-up kid. I've never seen a player that always have an agreement in place before he actually go out there and deliver.
Yeah,
like sticking those, like all of a sudden the news break yesterday is like, oh yeah, the Cavs plan on giving James Harden a contract extension.
It was agreed to before the trade.
Before the trade.
But that is ridiculous, man. That is ridiculous, and to me it's premature. Like, it's immature in my opinion for him to do that. But here's the thing, I'm gonna say this. Another team that's just closed the door on Giannis Antetokounmpo is the New York Knicks. I don't want to hear anything else about Giannis to New York. You have that chemistry. You have your duo. Let that play out for the next 3 to 4 years with Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns.
I agree with that one. And I am really glad that this group got an opportunity to run it back. I know, Vinny. I know. But to me, the other thing about it, too, as good as Giannis has been, and I take nothing away from him being a top 5 MVP candidate, however long that stretch has been, but the injury that he has doesn't bode well for the style that he plays. I don't know that it's getting better. So are you sure you want to risk your house in the future? I wouldn't.
That he does feel like he's teetering just a little close to being that guy who's always going to be hurt. Now, I'd love for him to prove that wrong. I'd love for him to have a bunch of healthy years and be the dominant player that he was again. But if I were risking my career on it, I'd be nervous about it.
Miami, I would look at them.
What about Detroit? Him and Cade Cunningham.
Detroit has a longer runway, and I don't, like you said, Giannis, I'm not sure how great Giannis is going to be for the long term. You make a deal for Giannis if you know you have a very small window and you want to maximize that window. Detroit has a little bit of a longer runway.
I think Detroit have better options. Because we talked about one of the theories on Detroit.
It's going to be a very interesting.
Straight playoff wins following a loss, SGA, after Game 4. Talking about those L's that he turned into lessons. Take a listen to him at the podium.
Whether you win or lose, you want to learn the lessons from the game. And when you lose, they're a little bit louder. The lessons are a little bit louder, and that's just how we view it.
All I saw were the diamonds dancing, but you know what? Look, you know what? What he said was important too. Chet Holmgren drives, lays it after scoring 10 points in Game 4. Holmgren scores 16 in Game 5, his most in any game this series. Early third quarter, SGA step back 3, that's money. And after scoring 19 points in Game 4, he scores 32 points in Game 5. There's a trend here. Fourth quarter, Jared McCain buries the 3. After scoring just 4 points in Game 4, scored 20 in Game 5, his first career playoff start. And how about the ball Mamba? Splashing the 3 right there from the corner. After going scoreless in Game 4, he scored 22 points off the bench. Game 5, Thunder win it 127-114.
I think we just learned from our mistakes. We learned from what we talked about as a group. And we just applied it tonight. I think that is the most important thing. Like, a series, especially against a good team, is like a chess match. Like, you go back and forth with adjustments and game plans and switching to things and trying new things. And I think, like, they obviously punched us really good in Game 4. And we got better than the team that played Game 4 for Game 5.
We did not put ourselves in position enough to be successful on each possession. And so, to beat a team of this caliber in their building, what's the stakes will need to be a lot better to give yourself a chance.
How did you think Victor played, and can you do more to get him going?
We're going to need to. He's got to take more than 15 shots, even with the free throws, and yeah, he's going to have to score more than 20 points for sure.
Pleasure to be joined now by the one and only Michael Wilbon this morning on SportsCenter. And as we just heard there from San Antonio's coach, Michael, Wemby took just 15 shots last night, had just 20 points, 12 of those coming from the free throw line. So how can San Antonio get him more involved offensively for Game 6?
Yeah, Tyler, I don't know if that's the question. The question is, can Wemby get himself more involved? And that's, what we heard his coach sort of just speak to without saying it in those words. Look, we have a lot of world-class analysts, many of my friends on this network, who will talk about strategically what it is they need to do and more movement and how many feet from the basket and all that. Some things are attitudinal, particularly in the playoffs, particularly deep in the playoffs, particularly when, you may need to win a game on the road in the playoffs. So, Wembanyama, come on now, you're down in the series, and this is what, when people talk about youth, I wasn't talking about actual age. You're talking about experience or inexperience in these moments. Not all the moments, in the playoff moments. OKC's been there, done that, and they took a step very quickly after having their hearts broken, a couple of seasons ago late in the playoff series. So Shai Gilgeous-Alexander knows what that feels like. Wembanyama doesn't yet, not fully, and he's trying to avoid it. It's on him. He's going to have to be more assertive. He's a guy we know during timeouts. He will talk to the team as he did last night. He's going to talk to the team maybe, but also himself. And 15 shots, as we heard, ain't going to get it.
Yeah, you mentioned it right there, OKC with their experience, now just one win away from a second consecutive finals appearance. What stood out up to you about OKC's win last night?
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, as always. Look, Caruso's been a revelation in the playoffs. You knew he could do these things. I mean, he's done them. He did them in Los Angeles in the bubble. He can do. But right now, I mean, he is coming up so clutch. He does not look like a role player. He looks like a star. But Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I mean, yesterday talking about this, and, you know, Tony and I on PTI, we were talking about, you know, what has to happen. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has to happen. He needed to have that talk with himself and be assertive last night, like Wembanyama's going to have to be before Game 6 or 7. He's going to have to know before Game 6 because they're on the verge of elimination. But SGA, to me, his superpower, guys, is his calm. I mean, there are a lot of players who are physically as talented, who can physically do the things that SGA can do. Do they have his calm and his intellect and his ability? Look at him after the games. His ability to dissect and know what immediately has to be done, and then bring himself down to that moment when the next game starts to do it. That's what SGA was able to do. He hasn't done it every game in the playoffs, but in this series, when they had to have it, you know, Game 2, Game 3, Game 5, he produced it. That's what MVPs do.
Yeah, look, SGA with that calm. Game 6 is Thursday, 8:30 Eastern in San Antonio. Now, Michael, the Knicks already partying like it's 1999. And look, as a Knicks fan, I don't blame them at all. The last time they made it to the NBA Finals, we were back living La Vida Loca. Okay, that was chopping the charts. The iPhone wasn't even a thing. 9 players on the Knicks roster were not even born yet. And oh yeah, social media was non-existent. Michael, have you allowed yourself to imagine what partying like 2026 would be like if New York, they end up winning the title?
Yeah, I don't know that it would look all that different than going into the finals in 94 and 99. I was around for those things, Amina. I was born, even though you and Tyler probably were not. So, you know, I mean, it's not like New York just woke up and learned how to party because you guys are of age. There were people who, you know, really wanted to win after 25 years of a drought, much less 53 years. So, yes, I was around in courtside for Patrick Ewing and all the Knicks and John Starks and Larry Johnson and the guys that you see now, old heads, you would call them and me. I was around for that. So New York didn't just figure out how to root for the Knicks, how to deal with despair, and how to party. But they're going to have to put that on hold for a bit because whoever comes out of the Western Conference is going to be formidable, probably a favorite. And we're going to see the Garden can both be the most boisterous place you've ever seen when the Knicks are up and real quiet and nervous when the Knicks are not up. So we got a lot of stuff to play out before we get to Prince Land.
Look, Michael, I'll tell you right now, I was not sitting courtside in 1999 because I was only 7 years old, but I was begging my mom for a Latrell Sprewell jersey, which she did fold and give me at some point. But you know what? It's been a very long time coming for my Knicks. Michael Wilbon with the latest. Thanks so much, Michael.